This is a classic data prep challenge. So we're working with golfing data here, where the structure of our table, as you can see, it's giving us our player ranks for each year. So the year is kind of at the top of the table each time. If I scroll down a lot, then I'll find the next year. There we go, 2019, and that continues on and on for those 5 years. So I think that I went a bit overboard, but I wanted to clean it up the way that I would clean it up. So basically what I wanted to do was for those years that start off at the top of each of the tables, I want to bring them into their own field and then fill down so that I know which table is associated with each year. You could argue I really didn't have to do that, but I did that anyway. So that was just with the formula using a bit of regex match, saying if that official money column, if it matches the format of 4 digits, then take it into its own field. Otherwise, take the row above. So because this number will always be pulled out first, then there will always be something to fill down, basically. And the to number that I've got wrapped around there is just because this is an integer. And it won't work otherwise because obviously this field is a string. So proof that it works there, 2020, 2019, so on and so forth. Really arguably pointless. Next up, I just wanted to filter out all the nulls from F2. So get rid of those years now, or where the row is just telling me the year. So I do that, and then I can promote my column headers, and then just filter out where those headers repeat at the next table. So if I scroll down, then you can see that they repeat around here. So just filter those out too. So we don't want it to contain the word rank. Okay, and then I just updated some of my data types. So made sure that my events, money, and year-to-date victory are all numeric fields so that I can aggregate them in a minute. But before I did that, to me, it made sense to make sure that my year-to-date victories, if they were null, that they were zeros. So I used a data cleanse tool in order to do that. So with that year-to-date victories, just make sure that the nulls are being replaced with zeros. Just because I'm not sure if it's an issue in Alteryx. It's one of those things that I forgot to check before I start recording. But obviously, say for example in Tableau, if you're trying to add a number to a null, then it just will replace that number with a null. You know, you can't add null to a number. And I'm not sure if that was the same in Alteryx. So I just wanted to double check by making them zeros before I did my aggregating. Okay, so then in my summarize tool, I've got grouping by my player name, summing my events, money, and year-to-date victories, and just renaming them here at this stage to total events played, total money, and total victories. Working out that average per event, so the total money divided by the total events played. Sorting those in descending order for average per event, and just sampling for the first 5 rows. So similarly, back to get the second half of the table, I filter to where the total victories is equal to 0. I sort the total money in descending order, and I take the first 5. And obviously my total victories are zeros here. In the output here, they are nulls, but we know the reasoning behind that. I think it makes more sense to have them as zeros personally, because they haven't won anything. And in order to combine those tables, if you want that kind of, I don't know, pointless last step, I would call it. So I just grouped by my F2 that came out here, where it's all null, entirely null column. So I just get a null. And then I union, making sure I'm specifying an output order of 1, 2, 3. So 1, 2, 3. And then doing it by position rather than by names so that I get that null row in between and those two tables. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed this solution, and thanks very much for watching.